Taking a break, taking a steady break. It's hair, man. Taking a steady break. Talk to you guys for a little while before I get back to this one paper that is kicking my butt. I gotta put some stuff in my hair. What's up? That's how my neighbor's kid talks. What's up, Mr. Tony? I love that kid.
Got it.
You got what, you weirdo? What's up? Who that is? Who that at? Who that on my live? What up with you? Trying to put this in my hair. Some light on this. Just because y'all want to get some of this. I like this stuff, man. Olive oil. Some good stuff. It's nice and smooth. Throw it in your hair. Keeps your hair moist. What up, Just Playing 20? Still rocking with the Cavs. Listen, I'm not a fair, weather dude. When I say I'm a rock with a certain team, I go with that team. Now, just because the Cavs look like crap right now, why you guys kill me? Because the Cavs been looking like crap all season, okay? There's been one person on the Cavs all season. Everybody else has been questionable. Now it's like, now it's like, oh my God, the Cavs suck. Oh, they suck so bad. They look like they're not even playing. It's like, what are y'all seeing now that you haven't been seeing all season? I'm just curious. What, did something happen different? It's the same stuff. The Cavs been sucking all season, and now everybody's like, oh my God, the Cavs suck. Y'all thought since they were going to get in the playoffs that they would be better in the playoffs. That's what you thought? No, it's the same damn recipe. It's the same dang on thing. The Cavs suck. We all know the Cavs suck. But when the Cavs are good, they're good. I'm curious, did the Cavs suck in game 2 when they won? See, some people... Yeah, what up? What up, man? Cavs fans. Cavs fans is tripping. Thought they would turn up. Why? Let's see what Cavs got tomorrow. Let's see what they got tomorrow. Why? Why did you think they were going to turn up? See, you're the person who gets married and expects the woman you've been dating who is been a wreck, but you decide to marry her, and after the marriage, you expect her to be different. It's the same woman. You're just married to that reckless woman now. You're just married to a crazy person now. You thought she'd be less crazy. She's even more crazier now. She got a ring on her finger. She's gonna drive you nuts for the rest of your life. No, do not look at these guys going into the playoffs and think that they're going to be different until they are. When the Cavs are different, that's when they're different. Until then, you got LeBron James, Kevin Love, and a mixed bag of nuts. J.R. Smith making 8 points. Who else? Korver? No, I'm not going there upper echelon. Don, let's say Cavs lose. Who's your next favorite? Okay, that's a legitimate question. My next favorite to win is going to be what everybody else's next favorite to win is, and that's going to be Houston. That's going to be Houston. Listen, although Golden State is the all-around favorite, they're not my favorite to win. Rodney so Hood is a bum. No, he's not a bum. He's just not turning up. Yeah, you got Houston. Everybody else has Houston, too. Everybody thinks Houston's going to take it. Rodney Hood isn't a bum. Rodney Hood just isn't supposed to be Rodney Hood until they tell him to. These guys are just playing you guys. You guys are getting sucked right into it. They're just playing you guys. Philly or Toronto? Come on, what kind of question is that? Toronto. Toronto. Golden State or Rockets? Rockets. Yeah. Toronto all day. That is quite obvious. And they're making it obvious. They're making it obvious. This is what I like about it. It's just like, for those of you who don't think that it's fixed, why would you not think that it's fixed when it's so obvious? Tell me something. Tell me something. What, you got Toronto versus Houston, and Houston is 7. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because I can read what you got. Let me see what you got. I can read what you got right here. Sixers could make it through. Nope, Sixers are not going to do it. Let me see what you got right here, Spanchez. Let me put on my glasses just to make sure I'm reading exactly what you got. Not for the contest. Okay. Okay. That's going to straighten you out real quick and tell you what you got. Okay, but for something else, okay. Yeah, okay. You do that thing over there, because over here, you got something totally different. Boom, bam, right there. Brother, man. But, yeah, it's obvious. For those of you who think it's not fixed, why is it so obvious? Hey, I got a better question, because I just did a video on it. I just didn't upload it. With all the game 3, look. Tomorrow and Sunday, about 3 teams are going to get swept. Golden State is going to sweep the Spurs, possibly. I think the T-Wolves are going to either sweep or get swept. I got it right here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Did I lose it? No, I got it. Okay, so here are all the 3-0 competitions. The Warriors, Spurs, the Raptors, Wizards, the Pelicans, Blazers, and the Bucks and the Celtics. So my question to you guys is, do you think that these 3, do you think the Celtics will sweep the Bucks? Do you think that the Pelicans will sweep the Trailblazers? And do you think that the Spurs are gonna get swept by the Warriors? Not sure what that means, but okay. Wolves might win to make an arena. Okay, there it is. Be at ease. That's the right frame of mind. Like that fixed Super Bowl. Anyway, the Super Bowl went, it was gonna look fixed. You damn right, Golden State, going sweep. Man, listen, the next time you ask me about your pizza, okay, there's going to be some hard times for you. Stop asking me about a damn pizza, and the game ain't even till tomorrow. All right? Ask me after the game. Okay, and then the answer will be your card is in the mail. That's going to be your answer. It's in the mail. You give me your address, I'll send it to you, and that'll be that. You know, and know this: if you win, I'm only sending you a gift card for pizza. So don't nut up and say, "Oh, I want it to go to Joe's Crab Shack." No, it's going to be to a pizza place, or you're just not going to get it. That's the deal. I can email it to you. Okay, well, however I can get it to you, I'll get it to you. But, you know, I'm not going to email you money. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be some type of gift card. Okay, so let's just get that out there right now. Don't ask me for something different. It's going to be a gift card, or I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to listen to you fussing at me. Yeah. I'm not going out like that. It's just going to be flat out gift card. That way it's just simple. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, like it's gonna be a $10 gift card for pizza. But anywho, so I was curious to if you guys think that these sweeps are gonna happen. Now, I personally think that there might be one out of all those teams that are gonna sweep. I think if possible, maybe the Celtics might sweep. But I don't think the Spurs, I mean, they're making so much money off of the Spurs. It just financially, it just doesn't make sense for the Spurs to get swept. No, they didn't. The Celtics lost. Maybe this isn't updated. Celtics, Bucks, 2-0. Game 3, Celtics, Bucks, 2-0. Game 3, Celtics, Bucks. Thursday, the 26th. Trailblazers, Celtics, 2-0. Why isn't this updated if that's true? Hold on, I can't read your stuff while I'm doing this. Shoot. Halftime. This isn't updating. So if they did lose, then I'm reading this, then it's wrong. Warriors. You're right. See, it wasn't updated. See, I thought this automatically updated. So, okay, there can't be a sweep. So there's that out the window. And, okay, so see, my whole thing is any sweep is just a waste of money. So if you're going to fix the games, why have a sweep? That's my whole thing. So the only sweep that can happen is the Warriors Spurs. Let's see, Raptors lost one, so they can't sweep. T-Wolves Rockets. Pelicans. Okay, Pelicans and Trailblazers. And the Spurs. Okay, so there's only 2 teams that can get swept. Why are you debating things if the NBA is fixed? You must be new here, Lorenzo. I'll bet you that Celtics don't sweep. BLE Celtics lost. Oh, that's why. I was reading something that didn't happen already. Anthony Davis is a monster. Yes, he is. You know, he might be MVP next year if Russell Westbrook doesn't pad his stats. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. Why are you debating things as if the NBA is fixed? Okay, Lorenzo, do you think the NBA is fixed? Okay, do you think the NBA is fixed? And if you, oh, it's hard to say. Well, all right, that means you're on the fence. Now, we got one person in here who's, no, the NBA ain't fixed. Everybody else in here, the NBA, there's only 3 people here now. Usually my chat is, like 15, 20 people. He's the only person who says that it isn't. I know that it's fixed. Okay. I've been guessing the correct NBA team for the last 2 years. And if I win this year, I'm 3-0. Lorenzo is Steve Francis' brother. I'm not sure what that means. Tony, you got luck. Oh, no, you didn't. So am I lucky or am I gifted? Which one is which? Okay, so if it's fixed, to what end? I like you, Lorenzo. You ask some good questions. Unlike Sanchez. Sanchez ain't asking good questions lately. Okay, so to what end? Well, always finances. Always finances. All right? Steve Francis is the NBA. Oh, okay. Always finances. Okay, so let's look at just some things that have been happening in basketball pretty much after, let's just say after Dr. J, after he retired, Bill Russell, some of those players, and then what started happening with television and how when television got involved in nationally televised shows, and all the ad revenues started to be added on. Let's just look at some of the things that happened in basketball. For one, when you look at the whole Michael Jordan era, and when people actually started thinking that something was wrong, you look, most of the time you didn't see a sweep in the playoffs. Most of the time you didn't see a sweep in the finals. I think the Magic got swept in the finals once, but most of the time you just didn't see that. But when Jordan was, won his 6 titles, people started questioning, like, what's really going on? Like, why are the Bulls that dominant? There was plenty of teams that could have pretty much took them out. I mean, Detroit, Celtics, Lakers, there were plenty of hot teams at that time. Then they started looking at Jordan's revenue outside of the NBA. Now that's when I really drift. I don't know. Tony, I feel your conversation really too irritating, really too irrelevant. Tone, I feel your conversations to irrelevant points. Okay, fine. You say teams don't sweep because of money, but many teams have been swept before. I said most of the time, pay attention. How accurate are your predictions so I can get my bets in? Well, so far, I haven't lost when it comes to the NBA. But I always say, do not bet on what I say, because if you lose, it's not my fault. As far as what you're saying, Sanchez, and irrelevant points, I stopped watching over 20 years ago. So do I know every team that's been swept? No. Do I care? No. What I'm saying is, most of the time, you will not see a sweep. The NBA is fixed for money, okay? This is what I'm talking about. Just like the NFL is fixed so recruiters can try to get people to go into the military. Do I need to go into that? No, because you've heard it before, okay? Only person who probably hasn't heard it is Francis, all right? You guys heard it over and over and over again. So I was trying not to go deep into the whole rigmarole, because the most of the time you guys heard it. I know there's only 3 people on here, but some other people are going to listen to this. They're going to be like, he's saying the same thing. I don't like to keep saying it. Anyways, Francis, I'm going to just ignore Sanchez right now. So when it comes to LeBron James, he's a face in the NBA. He's been a face in the NBA for years. And what I started to figure out is, so the way LeBron goes, so the way the NBA goes, you know what I'm saying? And how it's fixed. A lot of it is fixed around him, but it's all fixed because of the revenues. It's the ad revenues that, to me, is the reason why it's fixed. So that's to what end? When you look at the contracts that they're handing out now, they try to make this big blow-up deal about them, but what they're doing is they're consolidating those contracts over many years. Now, when you look at LeBron James' contract this year, it's $33 million. But what is he going to – he's going to make about $60, $70 million because of what he's doing outside of the NBA. And then so on and so forth. Listen, if LeBron quit the NBA right now, he'll still be making millions and millions. And I'm not talking about his pizzerias. I'm not talking about his shoes. I'm talking about just because we'll keep watching and watching and watching what he's done through the past 15 years, because those basketball games are syndicated. When you're talking about syndication, you're talking about the Nelson ratings. Now, the shows that, were 20 years ago and still in syndication, like the Cosby Show, don't make as much money as they did 10 years ago. This is true. But nonetheless, he still gets a check from it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I haven't read the majority of your comments, so 4 people also watching. 4 people, my crooked clone is okay. That's what's up. Okay. Sanchez, God bless you. God bless your little heart. Because you're trying so hard to stomp me, but you're stomping your own self. All right, Sanchez, just for the sake of, okay, I think I just lost like everyone. I don't know who's here, so I don't know if it's even worth explaining. You know the internet is going to make billions no matter what. Yeah, this is true. So everybody just left, so I'm leaving. Oh. I got this paper to do. It's just crazy. Anyways, I wanted to take a paper break. But I get right back to it. It's hard. I need to eat. But I'm going to get back to writing. Right. Sure I am. I'm going to stop talking about the NBA being fixed for money, and we all know that that's the truth. Ooh. Office Depot. Office Why you gotta be Office Depot? Oladipo ain't gonna kill nobody. He gonna get smashed. Home Depot is gonna get smashed. And I need to eat. No, you don't. You believe in arguing with me. You I can be saved. I'm lost. Hey, didn't the Avengers come out last week? You're gonna save me from what? What are you gonna save me from? These are gonna save me. I feel bad for you, bro. I feel bad for you. You know who you are. You know who you are. You're that team in Canada that keeps trying to win and can't do it. I can't help it, man. I gotta do it every now and then. I gotta do it, man. I gotta hit him with the bulb. I gotta be like, yo, son, what happened? How am I 50 years old and I'm stronger than you? You and your pizza, man. I'm gonna make sure they put government cheese on your pizza. I'll be like, yeah, this order's for Sanchez. Make sure you put a lot of government cheese on there. We know you eat that government. A government cheese. Hey, let's just see what happens. Why a taco, though? Why you gonna hit him with the taco? Sanchez. Why you gonna hit Sanchez with the taco? That's racist, man. He could have said a bologna sandwich. You being racist. Yo, Sanchez is the man. Sanchez is he's the dude, man. You all right. Government. The Spurs. Hey, Sanchez. Is your boy playing tomorrow? Is Kevin Durant playing tomorrow? Clay and Green? Are they all playing? Government. Don't eat that government cheese, bro. Okay. Let's see what happens to him when he gets to playing on that ankle. Let's see what happens to him when he's out in the second quarter. Do we go to bed on some Cavs and finals? Nope, I'm done. I told you I don't bet on these games. I just got a strong inclination that they're not going to get swept. Right. Government. We gonna order some government cheese for Sanchez. Government cheese. Man. All I know is if the Spurs win, bro, you're gonna have every excuse in the book. Are you smart? Yeah, you said that yesterday. Nobody cares. That doesn't impress me. Okay, so what are you doing with your gift? You're gifted in what exactly? You're gifted in taking aptitude tests? That's your gift? What is your gift? You're a psychiatrist? That's your gift? You're able to make diagnosis and prognosis on other people and the way they should behave? You can spot out somebody who's mentally ill from 5 miles away? That's your gift? I'm confused. That's what he's gifted in. I'm confused. You can help with mental illness? That's your gift? So what school did you go to get gifted in psychiatry? What up, Copper? Just trying to figure out what's going on with Sanchez because he's sitting up here telling us he's a psychiatrist. And okay, fine. That's fine if you're a psychiatrist. I have a mental illness? Oh, shamalama ding dong. What mental illness do I have? Come on now. Sixers and New Orleans to go where? Man in the clouds, this dude over here, Sanchez, is just so full of malarkey. I have delusions of grandeur. Come on now, Copper Skin. You know better than that. Copper, don't make me call don't make me call one of your parents and tell them that you need a spanking for saying what you just said. Because let me look on here and see who you got down to win. And you talking crazy. Let me see who you got down, Copper. Because what you just said is almost blasphemous. You have Rockets and OKC. And now on here, Copper, you have something totally different. Okay, Copper, you got who'd you have? Who'd you just say? You said Sixers and New Orleans. That ain't what you got on here. Let me see right here. Right here, Copper Skin, Rockets, and OKC, Game 6. So what happened? Oh, Eastern Western Conference? Okay. Well, still that makes no sense because then this wouldn't happen if those two teams won the Eastern Western Conference. It just wouldn't happen. He did switch up. He tried to switch up. And y'all know I ain't having none of that switching up in this month. Sixers and New Orleans. Let me look again. No, that ain't what you got down. You got down Rockets and OKC. That's in the Western Conference. So you got Sixers and New Orleans in the Eastern Conference. Oh, okay. But still what you're saying don't make no sense because you got the Western Conference, the Rockets. And you got get wait a minute. Okay, you got Rockets over. Well, you can't have that. You can't have that. Rockets and OKC is in the same conference. Yeah, they're both in the West. And that's what you got down here. So you have to have Rockets and Cleveland or something like that. I said it will end in exactly game 6. Who did you have? You had Rockets. Oh, you had the Cavs. Okay. I'm about to say you had to have Cavs. Yeah, game 6. Right. 94-105. Okay, Rockets and Cavs. 94-105. Sanchez is hilarious. Okay. Sanchez. Y'all my dudes, man. Y'all are funny. OKC. You guys ever been to Oklahoma City? That's OKC. You guys ever been to Oklahoma City? I have. Yep. You know what you see a lot in Oklahoma City? Indians. Yeah, they're going to get their ass kicked. But if you haven't seen like a real Indian, you see a lot of them in Oklahoma. They out there. They rich out there too. Yeah, Copper. They rich out there. It's because they gave them their land back. White people had to give them their land back. They was like, all of this actually belonged to us, but since you're not going to give us back the whole country, we'll take what we can get. Yeah, the Indians own all this. Football and baseball are not the same. Are you a Redskin fan? You a Redskin fan, Copper? Ah, man, this paper is a killer. The Redskins, only time I was a Redskin fan is when they had Doug Williams. NFC West fan, okay. When they had Doug Williams. What up, Joe James? Peace. Later, bro. When the Redskins had Doug Williams. When they had Big John Riggins. Yeah, Big John Riggins. And then recently when they had RG3. I was, yeah, you know what it is. Chilling out with the young lady on a Saturday. Cooling. I think I'm going to the movies tonight. I got mad homework to do, but you know what? I'm feeling like the movies. It's the set. Oh, here we go. Yo, Gabba Gabba, Akmadina Jabba, blow up your apartment if you don't obey the Sabbath. So wait a minute. So I can't wait. So I thought going to the movies was chilling. I thought that's not chilling. I thought you're not supposed to work on the Sabbath. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And the Avengers came out, right? With the Infinity Wars. The Infinity Wars came out, right? Sundown Sunday. Saturday. So, well, wait a minute. Let me look this up because that's what I'm really interested in. Yeah. Boom. It's out. Yeah, man. Oh, no, it's not out until next week. Okay. Thursday the 26th. Yeah, I got a movie pass. I'm going to see that. I'm going to see the Infinity Wars. Oh, you guys see the Black Panther? You guys all like the Black Panther? It was all right. It's going to be the highest grossing movie ever, though. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Sabbath, man. Well, I've been chilling all day. Trying to get this homework in. Because the brother is sucking. I only got 3 classes to go, but I tell you what, this one class right here, I thought I was doing all right. But I don't know a lot about ratios. And maybe I'm just making this paper harder than what it is. When you want to talk about healthcare ratios and the financial ratios, I guess it could be a lot simpler, but that's probably simpler. I'm just making it harder. Yeah. Yep. Kilogram said that. Killmonger said, really, that was true, and people didn't catch it when he died. Killmonger said, yeah. He said a lot. And truthfully, I was more Killmonger than I was T'Challa. But they made it very clear that the people from Africa and African Americans aren't the same tribe. They made it very clear that's what was going on. We're not the same people. Yeah, we're not the same people. And this is why T'Challa and his father didn't help the Black people who are over here, is because they're the ones who sent us over here. You know, talking about they're our people. He's like, no, they're not our people. We sent those clowns over there. We enslaved them. They are not our people. They are from a whole nother tribe. And they have always been our enemies. Always. Yeah, they've always been our enemies. The Egyptians and the people from Mesopotamia, the real Jews, are enemies. And that's all that's to it. One comes out of Egypt, the other one comes out of Mesopotamia. We are 2 different people. And they have always had angst against us because, and you know why they had angst against us? Because we were the ones blessed by God and our growth rate. When they saw that we were growing in mass numbers, the Egyptian came and took us into slavery. But we are the ones who destroyed our own house, and that's how we got over there. The reason why we came out of Mesopotamia wasn't because somebody drove us out of Mesopotamia. We came out of there because there was a famine. Then once we went into Jerusalem And in Jerusalem we started building it up. And once we built up Jerusalem, a lot of events happened. But what happened was Jerusalem was divided into two different, they divided the country is what they did. They had the north and the south, and they warred against each other for reasons, who knows. But once they were divided, then they were taken over by the Romans. Once the Romans came in and committed all of those atrocities, then after that, I think about 1.2 million Jews rebuilt nations from, we had to. We were roaming around for, in the desert. And then finally we established ourselves, built the whole kingdom, and then we went to war with each other. And when we did that, it was easy for the Romans to come in and just destroy us. And I mean destroyed us. So once Scipio and all those guys created, were doing mad atrocity. See, the Romans beat us. They beat us at war because we were already beating ourselves. But the problems with the Romans is not that they beat us. The problem with the Romans is they were beating people, and then they were committing all kind of heinous crimes against humanity. Okay, it's one thing to beat another. Yeah, what's up, man? It's one thing to beat another soldier in the art of war. Sometimes you take prisoners, sometimes you have to kill that soldier. Totally understood. But once a whole squad is beaten and you take the city, and then you entrap those people, and then you commit crimes against humanity against those people, that's a whole different story. This is no longer war. It's kind of like a Geneva Code that was written back then. It's like, what are you guys a bunch of hoplites? Are you gonna destroy everything and everyone? That wasn't really what they were supposed to be doing. They were supposed to take the people after they conquered them, take their kings and queens, either kill them, then take all the citizens and then enslave the citizens and then build up your kingdom. This is what Rome was good for. They were the third largest kingdom ever. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what they were supposed to do. You trap them, you beat them, you subvert them, and now they're your subjects. Like a lot of times people think that the 9th, 10th, 1st Legion were all a bunch of white guys. No, you got to understand, they went all the way up into Germany. There were Africans living in Germany at that time. One of the emperors was a black person. Okay, this is why they were beaten by people, because there were just so many different people that they had acquired, even all the way from the Silk Trade route. It's just, but what the Romans did was just a crime against humanity, period. Yeah, that's what they did. And when they did this to the Mesopotamians or the Jews, when they did this to the Jews found that they could, no matter what they do, there were going to be serious crimes against them and heinous crimes against them. So they fled. See, they thought they were going to get acquired. They were like, okay, we lost. We're unarmed. Boom, bam, boom. Now they're taking and, using children to do heinous things and then killing the wives, and it was just unnecessary. So they were like, we need to leave. So they had a mass exodus and they left out of there and they fled out of there. But when they did that, they fled into Africa. Why? Because they look like the Africans. The same thing Jesus did. Jesus fled into Africa because he looked like the Africans. So when they fled into Africa and they tried to build themselves up again, this is when the Egyptians came and took the Mesopotamians and then put them into slavery. And they were committing crimes against humanity too. And then God was like, okay, I'm done. We got to get you guys out of here. So once they left there, then, crossed the Red Sea. You guys know the story. Then, they walked around. They walked around the mountain. And that mountain that they walked around was where the Red Sea was. So when you hear, and it's in Jordan. So when you hear the word Caucasian, Caucasoid, they come from the Caucasus Mountains. Okay? That's what Caucasian comes from, the Caucasus Mountains. Also, what was up in those mountains were giants. And there was a whole race of giants that lived there long before the Mesopotamians even seen it. And there were white people that lived there. And what God did is he programmed the white people to kill the giants. And he told the Mesopotamians, do not go up there and bother those people because I'm not going to give you any of their land. All this is in the book of Deuteronomy. And he said, I'm not going to give you their land, so don't go up there and mess with them. Just keep walking around the mountain for 40 years. So it's much military up in the Holy Mountain. Yes, but they were white people who were up there. But you got to understand, the Mesopotamians had a military too. So God waited 40 years till all of the fighters were done. He just like, all you people who want to go and destroy, he let all of them die out. And then after that, he released them into the land of Canaan. But before they went into the land of Canaan, they sent the scout. And what did they see that was in the land of Canaan? They came back and they said, there are giants in the land. Now, the giants had several different names. Yemen, they had the Anunnaki, the Anamites. I mean, there was a few names, and they were all very tall people. And also, there was a kingdom that was already established there. And this is where you hear about Gog and Magog. And the Lord said to Gog and Magog, there was two of them. They were giants. So, I mean, there was a whole kingdom that was established there, and God wanted to get rid of them. He had to get rid of the giants before he sent his people in there. Because the giants were eating people. They were destructive. I'm saying right now, no one is allowed in the Holy Mountain. Yeah, you know why you're not allowed on the Holy Mountain? It's not because it's holy. It's because of the history that's on the Holy Mountain. And you better believe today there are probably still beings of mass destruction living in those mountains. And some of them are living under it. Like, don't be fooled. Just because that was 2,000 years ago doesn't mean that those people were wiped out. Some of the giants were wiped out. Some of the races of giants were wiped out, but not all of them. Look. When the flood happened, what did the scriptures read? In the days of Noah, the flood happened, right? Everybody tried to get on the boat after God let the rain go. And all this rain came down and flooded, and those people didn't want to listen. And then boom, the flood came, killed everyone. And you look how it flooded. You're exactly right, give it the truth. But check it out. The scripture says that they burned the bush in one of the mountains. The burning bush is in one of the mountains. Yeah, it's a holy mountain, so there's a lot happened there. Mount Sinai. There's a lot going on there. It's a blessed and holy mountain. Don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is, when those people died, and the flood came, the ark that was built was found on Mount Ararat. Okay. Yeah. The ark that was built was found on Mount. It's really not looking good for calves. No, it's not, Biggs. The mount that was the ark that was built was found on Mount Ararat. It was found on top of a mountain. Let's get this straight. The people who built the ark were nomads. They didn't live in the mountains. Yeah, it's in Turkey. They didn't live in the mountains. The way the ark was spotted was by an airplane. It was sitting on the mountain like this. So how did that huge ship get up on a mountain, get elevated that high? There's only one way that could happen: water. That's it, and that's all. That ship floated up, and when all the water receded, it was boom, it landed on top of a mountain. That lets you know how much water covered this earth. Yeah, that lets you know how much water covered this earth. When God said he's going to flood it, he flooded it. All right? There was no land. No birds could land anywhere. He was pissed, but he was pissed at the giants because they were destructive. I heard people try going into the mountain and boat and never return. Well, Give me the truth. I don't know how much of that is true. But the thing is, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this when you hear stuff about that. God made Mount Sinai, right? Moses walked, I think, wasn't Mount Sinai where Moses walked up and he got the 10 Commandments? Here's what I'm saying. Mount Sinai was inhabited. There were people living there. Yet there were people living there. So if the Caucasians were already living there, these are the people out of Jordan, they were already living there, then why all of a sudden would God kick all the people out? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would it be uninhabitable now? See, that just doesn't add up. So when I hear stuff about this, I'm like, this is a man-made thing that's going on. This is not because God said don't go up there on Mount Sinai. I don't believe that whatsoever. Not whatsoever. I think if God wanted people to go up on Mount Sinai once and they lived there, why would he not want people to be in a holy place? See, people keep thinking that some place is so holy that people can't be there. The only thing that I knew that was so holy that people couldn't be around it constantly was the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord. The Ark of the Covenant of the Lord was pretty much a box that held the Holy Spirit before God sent the lamb to be slain, and then the Holy Spirit dwelled in man. This is the reason why Christ was born of half spirit, half woman, which is man. So now the spirit can dwell inside of a man. That's what that was all about. I have a new covenant for you. That's what it was. The lamb that was slain. It wasn't Jesus Christ. It was Jesus the Christ. The lamb. His actually was Jesus the Nazarene. Canaanites. Yeah, all over. The Canaanites, Cain's offsprings were developing the world, spreading. The Canaanites were black people. Well, they were destroying the world. I don't know anything about the Canaanites destroying the world. I know the land of Canaan was a holy place. You know what I'm saying? I know that the Mesopotamians. Oh, yeah. Do you know what's above your head? Y'all gonna make me go get my Bible. Do you know what's above your head? Some people will say, oh, once you go up into the atmosphere, exactly. There is an ocean above your head. That's it, and that's all. There is an ocean there. So this is the expanse. This is the sky. This is the sky. Right. This is the sky. This is the expanse. This is space. And above that is a whole ocean. Ocean. And when God feels like flooding this planet, it's nothing. Like it's like we're so small. When there's astronauts who went into space and they almost drowned. They almost drowned in space? That makes no sense. Their suits were filling up with water. That makes no sense at all, according to what NASA's tell us. There's no water out there. They're looking for water because water is life. It's just like, no, you're telling us a lie. The courage, the coward, the dog opened my eyes to that. The courage, the cowardly dog opened my... Oh, I don't know about that. But yeah, it's in the scriptures. It said God separated the waters, use the expanse. Yeah, NASA's lying all the time. They lie all the time. They said they separate the expanse separates the water above from the water below. The water below is the oceans. That's why whenever they talk about space, the final frontier, and all this yickety yak about space, I'm like, 90% of the ocean hasn't even been found out. We know 5% of the ocean. That's how much we know. Everything else is speculation. How is space the final frontier? And why do ships keep blowing up trying to go to and from there? Because they don't belong there. All this talk about Elon Musk trying to build a ship to go up to space and be like a big old space station and whatnot. I'm good. I want to know what's on the earth. I want to know what the hell is under the water. You know, this is why Pacific Rim is such an interesting story to me. You know, that movie is very interesting, you know, how they have all of that coming out of the water, because I actually believe that. I'm curious to what the heck is right here, because 77% of this planet is water. If that water up jumped the monkey one day and decided to cover the rest of the earth, it could do it. Thank you. Pacific Rim is, I've seen it a couple times. I even seen the new one. And they try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't pay attention to this. But, yeah. Don't pay attention to it, but think about it. But don't pay it no mind. But just think about this. It's just like kaijus, large monsters coming out of the ocean where there's another dimension. And I'm like, you're not saying that because it's a movie. You're saying that because it's true. Then you add in the monsters and the big robots. You're saying that because that's actually what is going on. The ocean is a transport from one place to another. I believe that strongly. Okay, babes. Rockets this year? Not mine. I still got Cleveland. Yeah. Yeah, man. Listen, I believe instantaneous travel is done through water. I believe that 100%. I don't believe that we're interstellar beings. I don't believe that we belong in space flying around. I believe we're interdimensional beings, just like the angels are, just like we are. We are interdimensional beings. So are the angels. They go from one place to another in an instant. How do they do it? They use a frequency to do it. And the frequency that every human has is your voice. Now, I can get deep into that if you guys want to. Yes. Hell no what? Hell no what, Copper? What's a lie? What's a lie, Copper? We're not like the angels? The frequency of our voice? Time travel? Oh, well, time travel, yeah. I believe time travel is a thing. I believe time travel is a real thing. I believe it because there's so many things that have been here millions and millions of years ago, and it's just like, why is a watch buried in a rock that's been... The Mandela effect, yeah. You're like, why is this watch buried in this rock that's been here for 10 million years? We can't go past the skies? I mean, we can't build up to the skies? You don't think that physics supports time travel? You can't go back home. Okay, the time travel. Okay, so the conversation is going into time travel, a science that I've never studied, but I can only speculate. So if you guys are looking for me to give you some type of educated opinion on that, I can't. I can't give you a solid, educated opinion on it and or a spiritual reason why it should or should not exist. However, I will say this, that there are some people who studied the Bible and they have found some interesting scriptures about time travel and how things have just been happening repeatedly, and it just doesn't surprise me. Now, I can also tell you an opinion of mine. I can also tell you an opinion of mine. Okay, you don't think it's possible. Babel. I will get into the Tower of Babel in just a second after I get done with this opinion. Recently, there has been forward but not back, you idiot. Okay, not sure who you're calling an idiot, but all right. So recently, there have been sightings in Africa and in China of a city floating. And what's really interesting about the city is everybody hears the city while it's floating. They hear people, they hear music, they hear cars and everything, and they're watching this whole city. And it isn't like it happened once, and it isn't like it happened in one area. Whole villages have saw this city. Also, recently, there's been a Phantom airplane that is like a World War II airplane that was flown by itself, and it flew and it actually landed, and they were like, where did this airplane come from? And then they found out that it was an airplane that supposedly had went down in World War II, and all of the passengers jumped out of it, during the fight. But it was a huge bomber. But all of a sudden it lands like many, many, many years later, and there's nobody on it. It could not have made that landing by itself. So there's just been some weird things. There's also been an incident where these people were at a church, and all of a sudden they heard a loud thud. This was like in Berlin or something, and they came outside, and there was an anchor that anchored into the church, and it wouldn't move. And they went and they looked up, and they saw a ship. And then they saw somebody jump down into, like they were diving into the water, and they were trying to get the anchor free. And then one of them grabbed this person, and the person was screaming, "Let me go, I'm drowning." It was like he didn't know it grabbed him, but he knew something grabbed him. So there are two-dimensional planes right there that just collided. And these people are still looking at this anchor, and they're looking at this person swimming in midair. This actually did happen. I'm going to read some of your comments. That was trying to time travel through the Tower of Babel. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Talk about the water, Tom. What about the water? You mean the water's above and the water below? The expanse? I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, but it happened, and it's still happening. Okay. All right. I'll do the waters, and then I'll go into the Tower of Babel. All right. So, all right. So the waters are okay. So there's an ocean above our head. This is truthfully why I think the sky is blue, and people will say, well, it's ionized, this, that, and the other, the sun beaming off of, and I'm just like, no, I think there's a huge ocean above our head, because the Bible clearly says that there is. It says that the expanse separated the water above and the water below. That's what the expanse did. This is why it was so easy for God to flood the whole earth, because it's like we're living in a fishbowl. If we're living in one of them things you shake up with the water, that's kind of what we're living into. But the water to me is so much more than just water. For one, I think that the earth had to be 77% water because of what the core of the earth is. I mean, it's so hot, there has to be a way to cool that water also, or to cool the core. Now, I'm not a scientist. I don't know what all the core is made of, but I believe that if there was no ocean here, this whole planet would just evaporate, because it would just be so hot. When you're looking at magma plates, when you're looking at 400 miles of liquid hot lava just flowing through the ring of fire, this is one reason why Well, thanks, bro. This is one reason why it's so dangerous for these crazy, crazy people who have built these bombs. One of them is so powerful that if they drop, okay, the largest hole that we found in the ocean is the Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench is like 5 miles or something like that. So the tallest mountain we have is 1,600 feet. Okay, it's 1,500 feet. All right, so people want to, go up on that mountain, fine, but it's not the largest mountain in the world. The largest mountain range we have goes through the Pacific. And I think the Marianas Trench is in the Pacific. I could be wrong. Nonetheless, they found out that if they dropped the bomb down into the Marianas Trench, and it actually hit the bottom, you're the best in the West. I don't care what it is, but thanks, man. And they dropped that bomb down in there, and it actually hits. For one, the pressure might explode the bomb long before that. But if the bomb actually goes off, it would activate the Ring of Fire. If you activate the Ring of Fire, then the tectonic plates that we're sitting on will all start moving at once. Because the plates, you got to say, oh, okay, no homo. Because the plates are sitting on this magma that's constantly moving. This is why you have the earthquakes, because two plates are rubbing together, you have your earthquakes. But nonetheless, these tectonic plates are, this liquid is constantly moving. This is when you get Mount St. Helens and all these, that just all of a sudden, blow up and whatnot. You got these volcanoes and spewing all this stuff in the air, actually creating more land is what it's actually doing. But nonetheless, so when you have this constant activity, and then you go and you try to manipulate this activity for one reason or another, then you're looking at just the destruction of man. Now, moving on, every 600 and I think 40 years, there has been a recorded mass incident where one of the 5 supervolcanoes goes off. Now, there are 5 supervolcanoes, and one of them is a national park. It's in LA. It's the I forgot what the park is called, but it is in LA, and it's the mouth of this thing is like 5 miles long. It's huge. It is a super volcano. Nonetheless, if you ever seen the movie 2012, yes, Yellowstone, exactly. You ever seen the movie 2012, there was a lot of truth to what they were saying. If that mountain ever goes off, I don't know if the plates will shift like they have them, but what I do know is it would cause a cloud that would cover the sun for somewhere around 2 years. And of course, dead plants, dead animals, no oxygen, boom, boom, boom. Nonetheless, this has happened before. See, this is what makes me question the whole thing about the meteorites in the Jurassic and Jurassic age destroying the dinosaur. I don't think the dinosaurs were destroyed by that. Can somebody tell me where the meteor hit? Because I'm curious. I want to know where this meteor hit. Some people will say it hit in the ocean. And I'm just like, if a meteor that size did hit in the ocean and cause that much damage, we would know it. We would be like, this is where meteor 1 hit. This is where meteor 2 hits. But why do we not know? That was never supposed to be alive in the first. Well, that's not true. They were supposed to be alive. Their purpose might not have been their own. They were there for a reason. Some people are going to get into, they were a mix between, you're talking about the dinosaurs. Some people are going to get into the dinosaurs were a mix between the corrupted giants that lived there, and they might have been their offspring, so on and so forth. I'm not really sure about that. And I think you're going towards the fact of the Nephilim or the Rephaim being made by the angels, the corrupted angels, which then made the Rephaim, the Nephilim, which then made the dinosaurs. So I think that's the path that you're going for that. So, okay, then there's that. So, but every 640 years, there's this catastrophic event that happens. They thought this was going to happen in 2012, and it didn't happen. Okay, now one of you wanted me to talk. it was true the dinosaurs would have been on the boat. Well, the thing about the dinosaurs that's most fascinating is they didn't all die. They didn't. A lot of them survived underground. You know, they did not all. Heck, we look at some every day. Alligator, dinosaur. That was a discovery of a mammoth dinosaur with frankincense and myrrh. Right. Listen, okay, this is why I question the whole dinosaurs die. Because Noah had dinosaurs on his doggone boat. He had dinosaurs. In the scriptures, it talks about how the dinosaurs lived with man. In the Bible, it talks about that. That was only 2,000 years ago. Okay? Something's not right if these dinosaurs died off millions and millions of... I don't believe that. I don't believe a huge meteor came and destroyed anything. I don't believe that whatsoever. I believe there were other catastrophic events. My question, who mummified these things? Well, what do you mean who? It's not a who mummified them. It's what mummified them. It's not a person that came and orchestrated it. It's what in the atmosphere mummified them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah, what mummified them? It's not a who. Okay, look at Devil's Tower. You guys know what Devil's Tower is? Look at Devil's Tower. People try to climb Devil's Tower all the time. Devil's Tower is what, a mile up? Something like that? Devil's Tower, right? When you look at Devil's Tower, Copper, you still here? I'm just wondering if Copper's still here if I answer his questions. But if you look at Devil's Tower is very interesting because the sediment that it's made of, okay, I'm just wondering if I answered your questions. The sediment that Devil's Tower is made of is not rock. Devil's Tower is not made of a rock substance. Igneous, sediment, and I forgot what the other one is. When you look at it, it's not a rock at all. Devil's Tower is a plant. It's a tree. But look at the top of Devil's Tower. Yeah, look at the top of it, sheared right off. Sheared off. Clean. One chop. What in the life of Brian cut the top of that tree off, and how tall was that tree? You're looking it up right now? Look it up. They were guards. Whoever here was before us. Possibly. See, I believe there was always us. It was just another type of us. And it was us and other beings. And I still believe those beings are here. I believe that with all my heart. This is one reason why sports is so important. Because sports are made so we can pay attention to this instead of looking out there and trying to get past Antarctica. Those beings are still here. When you look at all the sea creatures they keep finding, they found a huge man-shaped creature that lives in the water. This thing is like freaking 20 feet long, and it's floating around in the water. It looks like a huge ghost. And it's a being. It's an actual live being. Every time they see it, it's moving. Like, we're not the lords of this land. You better come. Hey, listen. Recently, Kim Jong-il decided to stop his nuclear progress. Why is that? Why would that happen? Why would Kim Jong-il, who doesn't give a damn about, listen, Kim Jong-il fed his uncle to dogs and all of his uncle's crew. They said or did something he didn't like, he fed them to dogs and watched them get eaten. This man cares nothing about no one. Nothing. Why would he stop his progress? He isn't afraid of America. He's allies with China and Russia. Why would he be like, you know what? I think I'm going to back off. Because this earth does not belong to us. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. And you better believe there's somebody else with bigger guns than us. You know, you keep playing, talking about World War III. Listen, if we have a World War III, it's going to be all bad. Like the land would be, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki was nothing. They were actually test runs because the emperor probably knew it was going to happen, and our president definitely knew it was going to happen. They were test runs. Hydrogen bombs, H-bombs, and all these other kind of bombs. I'm telling you, if those bombs start going off, you're going to see the skies open up and you're going to see beings come out and they are going to start whooping all type of booty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure what you're asking me. You're going to see these being, listen, there has been recorded events. I think somebody wanted me to talk about something else too. If I skipped over something, let me know. There's been recorded events, like especially when it comes to Jerusalem. Then people better cut it out messing with Jerusalem and blowing everything up there over there in the Strait of Hormuz. They better, I'm just curious to what you were talking about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But over there in not the Strait of Hormuz, but that's, I'm talking about over there in Jerusalem, because Jerusalem doesn't belong to them. The Lord said Jerusalem is first. It is at the top. That's what the Lord said. You people going over there slaughtering people, you know, what happened to Syria? Ahmadinejad. Well, the Syrians, for one, a lot of them fled. You had like thousands of them are fleeing out of Syria. A lot of them are not allowed to go into other countries. Syria has it real bad right now. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is the maelstrom over there in Syria, yeah, the Jews, the maelstrom over there in Syria, look, I think people, yeah. U.S. attacked Syria. I think that was a mistake. But they attacked, okay, well, let's look at it. Who is in Syria other than the Syrians? The Russians. The Russians are over there, and they told the U.S. do not attack Syria. You know, because there are 700 Russian soldiers over here. You might kill some of us. And if you do, that is what? A declaration of war. That's why he told them don't attack Syria. But they were like, well, the Syrians, you know, did all these atrocities to other Syrians and these gas bombs and all that. And I'm like this, why do you care so much about what happens to Syria? You don't care. You didn't care what happened to Libya after you killed Gaddafi. Because now we got Africans in Libya who are not only killing each other, but they're enslaving each other. So there's a whole land over there in Libya that's being torn apart. You didn't care about them. You don't care about what's happening in the mountains of Kabul because you used bin Laden when you went and got him. The CIA went and got bin Laden and his crew, and you're the ones who gave them you weaponized Al-Qaeda. You weaponized Al-Qaeda and told Al-Qaeda to fight against its own people. The CIA did this. Fight against its own people, and then you say Al-Qaeda is the one that blew up 9/11. No. The bin Ladens, there are a lot of them who are Americans. You know who the bin Ladens are? They're architects. That's how they make their money. They're a bunch of American architects. It's like, why do you think there is no sight of bin Laden's body? They said we killed him and we put his body in the ocean. Who does that? Why would America not parade around and show that we killed somebody who killed 3,000 of us, innocent people? Why would America not show what exactly happened to them? Because they're lying. Bin Laden ain't dead. He was never our enemy. It's a lie. It's a damn lie, too. It's a damn lie. Anyways, I'm hungry. Yep. Yeah. He was our ally. I'm going to go cook, and then I'm going to get back on this computer because I got some stuff to do. But they were our allies. Saddam Hussein, he was our ally. Yeah. Oh, you guys wanted me to talk about the Tower of Babel. How many people are on here? 2? You guys want me to still talk about the Tower of Babel? I'll do it. 3? There's 3 people now? I mean, I'll talk about the Tower of Babel if you want. So, up to you. I'm in the building. Okay, James. Eat first? All right, so I'm going to eat, and then I'll come back in probably like an hour or so. You guys get the ding whenever I'm on, right? Well, I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to talk, and then I'm going to title it The Tower of Babel. Okay, so when I come on, you guys will get the ding. All right? All right, cool.